Good morning. Welcome to Plugged In. A lesson we can learn from a song in the 70s by a popular rock band right after this. Hey, we're glad that you're back. It is Monday. The sun is shining somewhere, but it's not shining here. Kind of one of those gloomy days, but it is what it is. It is funny how certain lessons pop into our head, how something that we see or hear can connect to a Bible verse without us expecting it or realizing it, and maybe at the most unexpected time. Let me kind of set this up by sharing that this past Saturday I did a graveside service for a friend of mine. Now, we were friends. We hung out together in the sense of we would go to estate sales together and auctions, and we did some our own personal wheeling and dealing together. He had started attending our church. I had the honor to baptize him. He was a few years older than I am, about 14 to 15 years older. We were close, but we'd only known each other for, maybe really known each other the last 2.5 to 3 years, known of each other for probably 5 or 6 years. As in every friendship, you get to know people, but you don't really know them, unfortunately, sometimes until later. And now what I'm about to share with you is nothing bad. It's just that it caught me kind of off guard, even though I knew what was going to happen. Let me explain. So I did the graveside service, and the family had shared with me that there were going to be 2 songs that were going to be played at the service. And the first song that was going to be played was a song, I'm not going to tell you the title just yet, but it became a popular song in the late 70s by the band Kansas. In fact, April 22nd of 1976, 50 years ago, almost 50 years ago this month, this particular song by Kansas peaked at number 6. It would be their only song to ever hit the top 10. Now, they had other songs hit the top 20 or the top 100, but they never had any other songs in America at least hit the top 10, at least according to the research that I found. It's a song that when it comes on the radio, even to this day, I'm like, oh yeah, turn that up, and I've heard the words and I knew the words and I've sang the words, but when they said it was going to be played at the service, I'm like, okay. But again, until you hear the song and you're kind of in that moment where you're kind of forced to listen and you can't sing it, then you're like, okay, so here's the song, Dust in the Wind. I bet there's a number of us remember singing that song. We still sing it. And as my friend who I did the service for would say, that was back when rock music was really rock music, okay? So, that being said, just a reminder, and if by chance some people are watching and this kind of music was not your genre, let me share with you just a few of the lyrics. Here's how the song starts out. I will read it. I will not sing it. It starts out this way. I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone. All my dreams pass before my eyes with curiosity. And then the chorus is dust in the wind. All they are is dust in the wind. And it kind of talks about dreams at first as they are dust in the wind. But as the song continues, it becomes a more personal. They're reflecting on their life. And I have the last chorus only, and here's what it says. Dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. Now, again, I have heard that song numerous times. I knew that song was going to be played. But there was this moment where I'm standing over the grave in a solemn moment, and my mind is kind of thinking, why did he pick this song? I mean, have we really paid attention to these words? What a song to pick for a graveside. Now, I've heard worse, okay? People have their choices, and we try to respect those at these services. But yet, I'm still kind of thinking, wow, do we pay attention? What a somber song for a gravesite. I mean, you would think it would do something like Amazing Grace or How Great Thou Art, but this is the song. And as quick as I was letting all of that just kind of accumulate my mind, I instantly was reminded of something, and I smiled. And I actually sort of chuckled inside. My thinking tracks, I was stopped in my thinking tracks. I kind of chuckled inside because then I thought of a Bible verse that actually coincides with this song. I kind of chuckled inside because as much as I love this gentleman, and as much as he was working on his relationship with the Lord, he probably did not connect the song with something biblical. But I thought, wow, we could. Now, I didn't proceed in the service by passing this along. I've just since decided to use it as this devotion. But here's where I'm going. There was a man by the name of James. He's the half-brother of Jesus. Now, when Jesus first came on the scene, James, along with the rest of his family, Jesus' half-brothers and sisters, didn't really believe in who Jesus was. Jesus' claims, they just thought he was off his rocker. But after Jesus' resurrection, some of them came around, and especially James, who became a believer and a prominent pillar in the church in the first century. He would go on to write a letter. It's 5 chapters. It's toward the end of our New Testament. In fact, if you read it slow and you compare it to the Sermon on the Mount, there's a lot of things that he says that his half-brother Jesus said some 50 years earlier, just in a little bit different way. And James was reminding these people. He's reminding those who've been scattered because of persecution. And so there's all kinds of things that they're dealing with. And so it's what I consider a common sense letter for some common sense people. But in the letter, apparently they're getting distracted about things that they're going to do. It's okay to have goals. It's okay to have aspirations and some dreams. But here's a part of the letter, and it connected to this song of the 70s. Now listen, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry on business, and make money. And then here's what James says. Why, you do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Wow, Kansas. I don't know if the band had any connection to this text when they came up with the song or whoever wrote the song, but that's their version by Dust in the Wind. I mean, that's biblical. It is good to have goals. It's good to have dreams. But goals without God are disappointing. There's no point in us making plans as though God does not exist. In fact, James goes on to say, instead, here's what you should say. If it is the Lord's will, we will do this or that. You know, life indeed is short, no matter how long we live. Lord willing, this September I will turn 60. My wife just turned a year older yesterday. I'll do that. But we've been reflecting on this. And 20 years ago even, when I knew someone that turned 60, they were old. I don't know if I'm old, but things are looking a little bit different at the age of 60 than they were at 40 and 50. But the longer I live, life is still short in comparison to eternity with Christ. We should not live idle. If we're caught up in this, hey, Jesus is coming back, let's not be like the people of Thessalonica and just stop working and think, well, I'm not going to do anything because Christ is coming back. On the flip side of things, we should not live foolishly as if we're just leaving God out of our lives. It's amazing what we might learn from a biblical perspective from a secular type of song. Thank you for joining with me today. Like and share this one. Chuckle a little bit with it. And by the way, the next time you hear Dust in the Wind, well, it may be just a reminder. Let's live for Christ. Thank you, and we'll see you next week on Plugged In.